In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a box and whisker diagram with your TI-84. So suppose I have a bunch of data. Perhaps I have this data already entered in, and L1 is perhaps my upper bounds, and L2 is my frequency. This is data for, I don't know, how long people can sprint for. So of the people tested, 6 of them could sprint for less than 10 seconds. 39 of them could sprint for less than 20 seconds. 28 could sprint for less than 30, and only 1 could sprint for between 50 and 60 seconds. So this could be data talking about how long people could sprint for. Now, suppose I wanted to plot this in a box and whisker diagram. So L1 is my uppers, and L2 is my observation frequency. Now, I've got my list and my frequency list entered, although you don't need a frequency list to do a box and whisker. You could perhaps just type in all of the times that people could sprint for, and it would still generate the same list or same box and whisker diagram for you. But I've categorized them, and so I'm using group data here, and we'll go ahead and calculate that way. So what we'll do is we'll choose stat plot. Now we find stat plot underneath the y equals button, so we'll press second function, y equals, to pull up stat plot. And I've got a stat plot turned on already, although you'll notice this indicator that says off for all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and turn all my plots off so you can see what this looks like when you actually turn that. So plots off, done. So second function, y equals. Now all of my plots are off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn a plot on. I'll press enter on plot 1 and I'll highlight on. Now the type, I could do a scatter plot, I could do a line graph, I could do a histogram, I could do a box and whisker with outliers, which is what this option is, or I could choose a box and whisker regular. I could also do a piecewise function as well, so I believe that's a step function. So I'm going to choose this one, and it'll bring up my X list. So that's my observations, that's L1. And my frequency list, that's my frequency list, that was L2. And I want mine graphed in blue because, well, why not? Awesome. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna press zoom, and I'm gonna change my zoom to zoom stat. So I'll press 9, and then I'll bring up zoom stat. You'll see now that I have a box and whisker diagram, and it made my axes appropriate. The reason why I adjusted my zoom properly is, well, if I just left it on zoom standard, this is what I would see. Absolutely nothing. So I'm going to choose zoom stat whenever I'm using stat plot, and that way it'll show me my actual diagram. Now, this is a diagram. Cool, I can double check my work, but even cooler, I can find my 1var stats on here, or at least some of them. I'll go ahead and I'll hit trace, and it'll jump up and show me my minimum value. I can scroll over once to find my Q1 value. I can scroll over again to find my median, again to find my Q3. Then I'll find my my maximum of my end of my whisker, and then I have that outlier, that one person who could run 60. Now the reason why that one person is an outlier is because that 60 value is 1.5 times the distance from Q1 to Q3 above Q3. So Q1 was 20, Q3 was 35, that's 15. So 1.5 of 15 is 22.5, which would be 57.5. So this person here at 60 is above 57.5. That makes him an outlier. That's an important note because oftentimes when you choose this type of graph, you won't have any outliers at all. By the way, the box and whisker is kind of nice because it demonstrates kind of where the largest chunk of data is, and then within that chunk of data, whether it's skewed towards one side or skewed toward another side. And so this is creating a box and whisker diagram on your TI-84. I hope you enjoy it.